It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. That's a pretty cool shot.
Yeah.
Look at that. They don't want to put our mugs on the camera, that's for sure.
That's a Spyvac shot.
Look at that. Wow.
Watch this.
Like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah. How you doing? Yeah, you got the B team today. Sorry about that. Ermanni and Edwards both off. So you've got Maz, you've got me, Sean Baligian. It's great to be back here at Woodward Sports. And you have a giant cake in the middle of the table. What? Look at that cake.
Thanks to Lydia, Birmingham roast.
You know, I
Our
probably
favorite.
said this to you before we explain to people why the cake is here. I probably said, when I was a kid, I didn't like cake. I had a birthday pizza. My mom and dad would get like a birthday pizza for me because I wasn't a big cake person. But this cake is here for a special reason. I have never known a grown man to love his birthday the way that Tom Mazaway loves his birthday. Never. It's not even close. As somebody in the room said, and I don't know if he wants me to say it, it's like a 14-year-old girl. Stick said that. But you know what? To start the show, we are going to say happy birthday to our 14-year-old girl.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, man!
It's like birthday month shit, right? It is. I mean, your birthday was what? How many days ago?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days ago.
2 days.
All right,
candles.
so are we ready to do this? Look, we got
Let's
some
go.
help.
Let's do
All right,
it.
ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maz. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
No Stola? There you go.
Blow 'em up.
Hey. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
I
everybody.
cannot believe we're doing this. All right. Outstanding.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. All right. Hey, now he's getting hugs, too.
Thanks,
Look at that.
man.
Hugs.
I'm putting this out, huh?
All right, come on, get in there.
Give
Go.
him a hug
Everybody get their hug
Give him a hug
in.
stick.
I know
is
Sean loves
fantastic.
hugs.
I love
Let's
hugs.
go. Sean loves hugs.
I don't.
He doesn't even like handshakes.
Jeez, so Pete.
Sean doesn't even like
it.
handshakes.
I like fist bumps. Fist bumps are the right. You just
There you
fist
go,
bump.
buddy.
You're a big hug guy.
I am. I can't help it.
No, Maz, happy birthday.
Thanks, bro.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Did you do anything special with the family?
We did. We were in Pittsburgh this weekend, and my nieces go to University of Pitt. So I met my sister and my brother-in-law down there. My sister Jenny was a Valentine birthday girl, and she came home when she was born on my birthday. And you know what I had to do that day when she came home?
What?
I had to go to the stupid Harlem Globetrotters game at MSG with the Cub Scouts. And I did not want to go. I wanted to meet my baby sister. And my mother and father says, nope, you're with the Weeblos or the Weblos, whatever they call them. You're going to go to the game. And that was how I spent my sister Jenny's first birthday. So we all met in Pittsburgh.
It was like
this
the fish who
weekend.
saved Pittsburgh.
It was. It was
the
great.
fish.
By the way, great town.
Oh, it is.
Great freaking town.
Can I say this? And
Almost went to a Penguin game, except they wanted $165 for standing room with obstructed view.
I know a guy, so let me know.
I will.
I know a guy.
Too late now.
It is one of the coolest places. I like honestly. The baseball park is one of the coolest parks I've ever been to.
Gorgeous.
It is unbelievable. Can I say this though? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure a lot of people say this about our delicacies. One of the things that people talk about, like when you go to different cities, you know, and especially people know me, I love food. People will say, oh, you got to go to this place, or oh, you got to go to that place, right?
You're talking Primanti Brothers, right?
The most overrated thing I've ever, honestly, totally overrated.
Really?
You know what? The way that people made it, listen, I can go to Jersey Mike's and get a better sub any day of the week than I got there. It was okay.
I'm with you.
Like, I'm not dogging it per se, but I mean the way that people were going crazy about Permani, dude, you got to walk down to the original Permani Brothers.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how far it was away from the ballpark, so you walk over the little bridge, one of the three rivers, whatever
You know
it
how many
is.
bridges are in Pittsburgh?
How many?
Take a guess. It's the most in the world.
Well, now that you
Hey,
said
chat, I want you to guess.
21.
Oh, God, no.
Less?
No. Hundreds.
No crap. Really?
462 bridges.
Dude.
Yeah?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we walked all the way down to that Permani Brothers, right? And like I'm expecting like angels to be singing and a heavenly chorus going, "You have made it the greatest sub ever." And like it was a sub. It was right? It was just a sub.
I've heard the
just
same
okay.
about Skyline Chili in Cincinnati.
I hate it.
You know what?
I hate it.
It's okay.
Right.
It's okay. But I wonder, do people, those weird Detroiters, like
Yeah.
I went to that Lafayette Coney Island place.
I love Lafayette.
It's just a hot dog with chili, and it's like, I will fight you if you ever say that to me.
I love
I will punch you.
Lafayette.
I will give you a fat lip, and if it might not stop there. But you have to wonder aloud. You wonder if people do that same thing like with our delicacies. You know what I mean?
I think they probably do, especially our pizza, because our Detroit pizza is a different type of pizza. Buddy's, Louie's, those are the Detroit pizza joints. So there might be people that don't like Detroit pizza. Me, I'll fight you to death for a slice from Jersey.
I see.
And you don't like it.
I'm a New York guy. Give me that. Like our boy
New
Freddie.
York, New Jersey, same
Freddie,
thing.
yeah, Freddie.
Yeah.
I love his pie. That's exactly.
Yep.
I want that much.
That's the pie.
No disrespect to anybody else. You knew if I was in that somehow we were going to be talking about food. Especially I see Fairway Packing up there. And listen, I'm not even going to do a read for Fairway. This is an actuality. I'm Sean Baligian and I love to smoke. If you've seen my Twitter account, I smoke things all the time with my buddy Barbecue Mike, and I pick up many of my fine meats at Fairway Packing. There.
Your baby meat?
You know the thing is, you do that baby meat, but you would destroy.
Mama!
You would destroy a brisket or pulled pork or nice smoked ribs.
I just had a great steak in Pittsburgh. I was able to chew it and enjoy it. If I eat the stuff that you're cooking, it's just like falling apart.
melts
Yeah.
in your mouth.
Yeah,
That's
but
what you
and
want,
it's
baby.
smoky.
Right?
What do
That's
you like a smoke
That's
taste
the
for?
beautiful thing about it.
What do you like a smoke taste for?
Do you know a lot of people? Sorry to get off on a tangent. We're going to talk about a lot of sports stuff, but this birthday cake shit threw me off. Listen, I'll sit here and talk about. Do you know what a lot of people say to me? Frankenmuth, right?
Hey, is your mic close to your ear, by the way? To your mouth?
So listen. People don't want to hear me. No, listen. Frankenmuth is like a delicacy to us, right?
The chicken, you mean? The
Yeah,
chicken
I
dinner?
love going to Bavarian Inn and Zenders, right? I mean, that's
Ooh, I thought you were about to say bad things about it. I was
no,
about to say
but
I love
to
it.
your point,
Other people will.
Kool-Aid. I've heard so many people go, "Yeah, I finally made my way up. It's okay," and it's like,
No.
what are
No.
you talking about?
That's
like that
wild.
gravy and stuffing, but like if you're not from here, maybe you don't appreciate it the way that we do. You know, like
Probably.
Permani's brothers,
Yeah.
they grew up with it. Respect, right?
Frankenmuth
It's-
fried chicken, baby.
Yeah.
It's so damn good. It's so damn. But Coney's. I
Yeah.
mean,
Love
you
a Coney.
Detroit
Lafayette,
people and
baby.
you Coney's.
Love a Coney.
Right?
The only thing is that coming from Jersey in the New York area, I come here and they're like, have a Coney Island, Maz. I'm like, Coney Island? That's in New York. Why do you guys call them Coneys? Well, I guess they took them from the Nathan's deal. Nathan's.
Is that
hot
how it
dog
started?
contest.
I don't even
Yeah.
know. Really?
I mean, because Coney Island is in Brooklyn, and that's where the big park is. I'm just surprised that Detroit picked up that name, Coney Islands. I thought they'd have their own name for it.
Very rarely do things though when you're like when it's so hyped up and held on a pedestal. Very rarely does it live up to it. Like I say this all the time, and I know Cubs fans get mad at me. When I went to Wrigley Field, okay, I half expected that dream that Happy Gilmore has.
Excuse me a minute, Pete. I'm not talking right now.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Okay.
No, seriously, when I went to Wrigley Field for the first time, I have expected that dream that Happy Gilmore had.
Yeah.
Remember where Grandma wins the cash and she's in the Gene Simmons and the hot chick is sitting there with 2 beers? It was a ballpark. Like that's what I thought about Wrigley. It was a ballpark. Nothing bad about it.
You don't just
but
absolutely love it?
people talked it up so much. It was a ballpark.
But I agree with those people. You don't love going to a Cub game at Wrigley?
It was a ballpark to me.
Really?
It wasn't bad. I'm not dogging it.
How about Fenway?
Fenway was awesome for me.
So you like that better than Wrigley?
I did. That was one of the places, and there are very few places like that when you get a chance to go there that they actually live up to the hype. I think because people went so over the top about Wrigley for me, Maz, it was like,
really?
it's nice.
I'm
I mean,
disappointed
it wasn't like Fenway was unbelievable to me.
I just love Wrigley. I absolutely.
Is that your favorite?
I could live there.
No
I
kidding.
could live. Well, I loved Tiger Stadium. Loved
I
it.
thought you were going to say you love Chicago.
Oh no, I do love Chicago. I'm not as much as Chuck Swirsky likes it. Our old friend here from Detroit, Chicago Bulls guy. But no, Chicago's a great town. I love great cities.
Yeah.
And I love our city now. Our city it's up there with the best of them. And I know it's still on the build.
Sure.
It's still on the build. But I have a cousin that just came in from Seattle. She hasn't been, she's a Michigan State girl, hasn't been here in 20 years. She's downtown now, and she's like, I can't even recognize this place now, how beautiful it is, how awesome it is.
I was terrified. You remember when the Super Bowl was here? I was terrified.
18 years ago.
I know, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was terrified when people came here the dirty little secret is a lot of people in the national media look at the Super Bowl as like a vacation.
Yes.
Out of one side of their mouth, they talk about, they've got a job to do and they're serious journalists, et cetera, et cetera. And out of the other side of their mouth, they complain about how cold it is in Minnesota, how cold it is in New York, how cold it is in Detroit, et cetera, et cetera. I thought the best decision that Detroit did was to embrace it and say, yep, we're a winter, we're kind of a winter carnival place and everything. Maz, I was floored at how many people spoke so highly of the Super Bowl being here. Yeah. I was floored because like you, that's one of the things that I worry about. It's
of course, you don't want people
let's go down the list. Beirut, bombed out. Let's go down there. And I was amazed at how many people enjoyed the Super Bowl here. I really was.
Well, we had 2 Super Bowls, both with major snow. Both Super Bowls. Super Bowl 16, Super Bowl 40. Major snow. Remember Super Bowl 16? You can see the traffic, and you see when they go back and John Facenda's doing the film, and you can see them. And they got WWJ News radio on their cars, and it's bumper to bumper traffic. I think George Bush was in town that weekend. People are falling on their keisters on the way to the Silverdome because it's slippery. But you saw that. And in Super Bowl 40. Massive snow all over the place.
Night before, remember that?
Of course.
Dude, it just bombed.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
No, it's just funny because, how we got on this is we were talking about Maz was in Pittsburgh. And in case you're just joining us, if you're watching, chances are you've seen games elsewhere. Or people have said, oh, go to this place or go to that place or whatever the case may be. There aren't many places that kind of lived up to do you know what one place did, Maz? And I know you've been there. Kool-Aid and Pete, I don't know if you guys have, Notre Dame Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
100%.
I was there for the Bowling Green game 3 years ago. It's 100%. Beautiful.
Touchdown,
beautiful.
Jesus. It's as clean as can be.
It is.
The people are great.
They're wonderful.
So fun.
I always say to people, if you're a college football fan, go to a Notre Dame game.
Absolutely.
I don't care what your feelings about Notre Dame are. It is just classic. It is iconic. As Maz said, go see Touchdown Jesus. Yep. Go say a prayer for your wretched soul at the grotto.
Yep.
Whatever the case may be, just seriously, take it all in. It is a really cool experience.
Even though my Bowling Green Falcons got destroyed, I absolutely enjoyed that. We did it all in one day. Drove down there 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours back. I toured basically the whole campus, and it was just it's even touring the campus is worth it. It's just beautiful there.
Well,
it's a fantasy land.
Have you ever been, Kool-Aid? You ever been down there?
I haven't been, but you guys are making me very, very
interested
to go now.
Go.
I definitely will.
Now you know what we're doing. We're doing the same thing to him that was done to me. He's going to go and he's like, was a football stadium, man. I saw a statue of Newt Rocky, and you guys drop your pants around your ankles for that stuff.
You gotta love that sport to really love
I agree.
that.
I agree.
To love that.
Well, and another one is as you well know, the Rose Bowl. Like, you got to go to the Rose Bowl.
I've been there once, and it was what a time.
You got to go.
I was there once in 1979, though. I barely remember it.
Oh, no kidding.
So funny story. My dad had pre-ordered Rose Bowl tickets, expecting Michigan to be in the game, and Michigan ends up losing to an underdog Ohio State team. So we had to go there and watch Ohio State USC.
No, baby, that's okay.
I was still there. Yeah.
The coolest thing.
Was that Charles White, or was that who was running for USC back then?
Oh God,
that must have been.
I was like 4 years old.
That must have been Charles White,
Charles
right?
White, be Charles White.
Art Schleister. That would have been Art Schleister's year.
Art Schleister, I
Could've
think.
been.
I was 4.
Yeah, that would have been Art Schleister's year.
Anyway, it's so good, man.
I wonder if he had action on it. Listen, here's Maz. Can I say this? The coolest thing about going to Pasadena for me was you're literally walking down a street. It's like a neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You're walking down a street. And you get to the end of your block and maybe you turn on to 10 Mile Road or wherever you live.
There's
The end of the block.
There's a corner deli there usually.
Yeah, the end of the block is the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. Like somebody goes, yeah, you gotta, because we had to take that little train there, whatever the hell it was, and somebody was like, yeah, just go up 2 blocks and then walk down whatever the street is, and you can't miss it. And you're walking down the street and you're going, I'm in a neighborhood. What? I'm in a neighborhood.
Well, it's kind of like Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But I understand the Rose Bowl. It's the Rose Bowl, man. You're walking up and boom,
unbelievable. Such a cool stinking thing. All right, now that any other ADD things we got to get out?
We have one. We actually got a special message for Maz.
All right.
We do?
From your friend Sharon Young at Corewell Health. She wanted to wish you a happy birthday. She wanted to make sure we did that on the air.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Sharon takes my blood once every 3 months, going for a checkup, checks the blood. Sharon's nephew is Brandon Graham.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, wow. Yes. So shout out to Aunt Sharon.
Shout out to Aunt Sharon.
You're a magical human being, Tom.
What can I tell you?
You are just a
I just
magical.
lay it all out there.
No, you are.
I got no secrets.
You are a magical
no
human.
secrets.
All right, anything for you, Kool-Aid? Before we're actually, it's almost like we have to start the open again and everything. The whole birthday thing threw me off. So when we come back, we'll just do the open. Any random thing you need to get out there right now?
No, I think we covered it. No.
I do. Pittsburgh is the hilliest place you ever wanted to see in your life. The hilliest.
That'll do it.
If you are not in shape, you are not walking to a game in Pittsburgh. I can promise you that.
Have you ever been to Frisco?
Oh, yeah.
Frisco's like that.
This dominates San Francisco's
Does
place.
it? No,
dominates
crap.
it. Dominates
Wow.
it. I grew up in North Bergen, New Jersey. Very, very hilly. Jersey's hilly. Not many people would know that, by the way. Michigan, very flat. Okay, back to you.
Kool-Aid's time.
All right, speaking of the hills, are you familiar with the Houghton Hancock area? People don't understand that there are a lot of hills and mountains up there and everything.
Really?
Honestly, Iron Mountain, Houghton,
Yeah.
Hancock, you wouldn't believe all the hills and mountains
I'll be
up there.
damned.
Pete, any random thing you want to get out before we actually do a show?
No, I love you guys.
This is a show. As Seinfeld would say, this is a show. Yeah, this is a show. What'd you do today? What'd you
I
do
got
so
up and came
far?
to work.
I went to the gym.
That's a show.
I got
show.
my puppy licked my face 1,000
nice.
times.
You got a new pup?
We do have a new puppy.
And
What are you doing?
Yeah, he's there you go. Start it over. Yeah, there
Pause.
you go. No, we have another schnoodle. Our female passed away in the fall, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm actually going to get serious.
Yes.
It is literally losing a member of your family.
Oh, God,
like
no.
it is.
Of
I don't
course
care.
it is.
People that don't have a dog, you don't get it.
Oh, no,
you
they don't
I
know.
mean, I'm not joking. I was a mess.
I dread the day. I dread the day.
I was
Poor
a
Boomer.
mess, and so was our other dog. So we said after a little mourning period,
Yeah.
we were going to get a new one for him, and now he's got his new best buddy. So
Awesome. What's
Yeah.
what's Schnoodle's name?
Cole.
Cole. After.
Cole Caulfield.
Oh, okay.
Cole Caulfield, nice.
Cole
You know what my
Caulfield.
dog's name is? Take a guess. Who's my favorite human being?
Summerall.
Well, yeah, it should be. That's going to be my next one. Jeter.
Here's your clue.
Oh, is it really?
It's Jeter.
I was gonna say, here's your clue.
Yeah.
Number 2.
No, so I've had seriously Chelios,
Aw.
Carey.
Did you call him Chelly?
We did.
Yeah.
Chelios, Carey, Rocket, and Cole. Yeah.
Those are great names.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Rocket Richard.
This show is just off the rails, and we haven't even hit the first break yet.
There's no track. There's
There's-
no
The
having
Habs
a
man?
track.
Is Habs man coming today?
He might pop in. Chad Johnson's going to come in here with a bat and smash us all. You kidding me? What the hell have you done to my show? You maniacs. All right, listen. The draft is coming up. I contend that the average human doesn't understand that the circus is coming to town.
Yep.
And if you haven't been to a draft yet, just be prepared. I don't think people get the average fan. Chances are, if you're watching, you get it. But the reality is, I don't think the average human gets it. We're going to get into that. It was fun to start mock drafts so much later. By this time, I had probably been about 2,500 deep in mock drafts, and I'm only about 300 deep
That's
right
it?
now. So, yeah, only about
Daniel
300.
Jeremiah came out with a top 10 today.
Yeah.
And where do you think he's got J.J. McCarthy going? I'll tell you later.
Ooh, that's a good
All right.
tease.
Tell you
All right.
later.
Do I have a read to do here, Kool-Aid or Pete?
Actually, we have a kind of a new break thing. You still got like 8 minutes.
Oh, do we really?
Yeah.
We
Say,
did?
well,
We're doing
says-
the Ryan. We're going to do the Ryan method today. The
Thank you,
bottom
Ryan.
and the top. The bottom and the top.
Well, we can keep going.
No, that sounds good to me.
Keep going.
Listen, Maz, it's so interesting to do these mock drafts because you might remember we used to do these like when I was doing the show here a couple of years ago. Me and a few of the boys got into it. You know, you can do the draft simulator, right?
Oh, I love those.
And it's so
you can make
difficult.
trades. You can do everything. Yeah.
I'll always like when I go through the routine, Maz, I do one close to the vest because you know as well as I do the amount of times that a deal is talked about and the amount of times that a deal is consummated are two incredibly different numbers.
Correct.
So I'll always do one close to the vest where I don't move out, and then I always do like a wacky one where I end up getting myself
Last year was
7
a
or
big
8
one.
picks.
Last year, a lot of
Heck
deals.
Yeah,
Lot of
dude, it was
deals.
great. And you know what? When you got a guy like Brad Holmes that's doing the cooking, I don't mind it because he's
Right.
shown that he can find some of those guys in later rounds, etc. But it's always funny to me when you're trying to do a mock draft with where the Lions are drafting. It's
Yeah.
next to impossible.
It's not as fun.
It isn't.
No.
It just isn't because at the end of the day, is there's your draft order right there. Look at that. You did a nice job. Did you put that logo together or Pete? That's
this
a
is
nice-
from Fox.
Well, yeah, we kind of did
All right,
graphics.
that's a
But
nice.
we have it every day so we can look at it, and we have our countdown, 66 days.
Yeah.
And we change it every single day, so we're looking forward to it.
So what you're looking at right now, Maz, is at 29. There are so many things that can happen between 1 and 29.
Yep.
Maybe you have a rough idea of guys that are going to be there, but you know as well as I do, there's always a guy that goes higher than he was slated to go, and it's usually a quarterback. I'm going to be intrigued to see because I did not see the mock draft that you're talking about, but I'm going to be
We
intrigued
can
to hear.
put it up if you'd like.
I would like to hear that because J.J. McCarthy can be exhibit A of my personal feelings. I think when people do this, people forget every single year that there is a premium put on quarterbacks.
So I was going to say, before you see it, where did you think he was going?
Top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, top 10.
He's got him
honestly.
at number 8 going
Yeah,
to
top
the Atlanta
10.
Falcons.
No doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
He might go higher than that.
JJ?
By the time the combine is over, and the combine is next Monday, it starts in Indy. By the way, Michigan sends 18 people there, 18 players there. By the time that is over and they've spoken to him, I believe anyone from 1 to 14 can move up and get a quarterback. You
that
don't think
the
the
second
Saints need a quarterback? The Raiders, the Broncos,
You
the
got it.
Vikings, the Jets, they all need him. And they're all behind teams that are going to take a quarterback. You got the Bears, Washington, the Cardinals, not the Cardinals, but the Patriots for sure, and the Atlanta Falcons.
And that is what I'm going to say it again, Maz. Every year people forget that. Every year people forget. There is a premium on quarterbacks.
Yep.
Period. End of story. So your best laid plans, whether it be at pick 15, whether it be at pick 29, could go. I remember in, was it the 11 draft, where was it Fairleigh falling to the Lions? There were a lot of people that thought there was no way in Hades that Fairleigh was going to get there. And obviously we know how that worked itself out. And it was funny because teams will move up to grab quarterbacks.
Yep.
And Minnesota came out of nowhere and grabbed Christian Ponder, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean,
Mel Kiper went nuts.
That's the premium that teams put on quarterbacks. So, yes, I love to do it, okay? I love to do the mock drafts. I love to look at these mock drafts. I love to do so many of myself. But Maz, to your point, it is an exercise in futility.
Right.
It doesn't stop me from doing
It's
it.
a guess, but
yeah,
it's fun.
it is. It's fun to do, but there are so many variables that we don't know. And the one variable is, inevitably, there is going to be a team or two that moves up to draft a quarterback, and your best laid plans, can be thrown by the wayside.
You don't know what the Bears are doing. I mean, everyone's got them locked on Caleb Williams, but they hold the key. What if they like Drake May almost as much? Do you know what that one pick will get them? Well, just to move down 2 or 3 spots? Justin Fields could go to the Patriots. The Bears could move down to 3, still get their quarterback, and then have another top 10 pick either this year or next, and they sit at 9 again. You don't know what the Patriots are going to do.
And that, Maz, when Bischoff and I were doing all our draft shows in the past, that was one of the lines that
we love Scotty.
I always love to throw out there, okay? I love nothing better than hearing somebody talk about a guy's stock rising. Let's use J.J. McCarthy right now as an example. Let's use J.J. McCarthy of the national champion Michigan Wolverines as an example. I did that for you, okay? No, you know what, Maz?
It is what it is.
We're going to save that for I refuse to become what I detest.
Okay.
I will not, under any circumstance, when everybody was throwing sand at these guys for the little run they had in D'Antonio, I said, when the worm turns, and it will work, and it will turn, I am not going to be that guy. Michigan won the national championship, period. End of story.
They did.
Done. Over. No luck. None of that crap. They're the national champions, period. All right, but hear me out, okay?
All right.
So when was that game played? What was that, January 9th? I don't remember the name.
January,
whatever it was.
Yeah.
You can look it up.
Whatever.
Okay?
That first Monday in January.
Okay, so January 9th, January 8th, whatever the hell date it was, okay? What has transpired where people could watch J.J. McCarthy between January 9th and what is today, the 20th?
Today is February 20th.
What?
It was the 8th.
It was the 8th? Okay. So what has transpired between January 8th and February 20th that would change people's minds? Nothing. There have been no games.
No.
There have been no combines. There have been no underwear Olympics. There has been nothing. Have you heard about double secret? JJ, don't tell anybody.
Right.
JJ McCarthy's throwing for the pros.
Yeah.
There's none of that stuff out there. So when I hear people drop the line, it cracks me up every year. Oh, JJ McCarthy's stock is rising. No, what we're starting to find out is what the real people think about these players. Not these guys that are, and I'm not trying to demean them in any way, shape, or form, because they know their shit crap. If they're doing these mock drafts and everything, right? I'm not trying to demean them.
No, I get it.
But what's changed? Nothing. So when I hear people say his stock is rising, no, that's where his stock has been. That is what NFL guys think about J.J. McCarthy. Because if you remember, about a month ago, the first mock draft I looked at had J.J. McCarthy going early second round.
Second round or late first.
Yeah.
And I fired up the crack pipe. I'm like, are you... J.J. McCarthy's not going in the second round, man. And again, consider the source here, okay? He's a damn good quarterback.
Yes.
I mean, he does
Got a
so
big
many
arm,
things
and he's,
well.
Very smart, and Jim Harbaugh coached him. Jim Harbaugh, the only thing that changed, Sean, is Jim Harbaugh went on all these talk shows and said J.J. McCarthy should be the first quarterback taken. That's basically all he said.
So stupid.
And that's basically what's out there. That's the only thing.
His stock is rising.
Correct.
Based on what? No, you're starting to figure out what teams like about a particular. That doesn't surprise me. If I were a betting man, which I am not, if I were a betting man, I would bet that he goes in the top 10.
I'm with you. I double that.
And you are a betting man. Is there a way
Very
you could
little.
could you put a wager on that? Is it
You can put a
J.J.
wager on
McCarthy
that,
to go
yes.
in the top 10?
You can. Now, Ryan has went out and he has said, this was months and months ago, that he would be the first quarterback taken after Caleb Williams. That's what Ryan Ermanni has been saying for months.
Really?
And he might be right. He might jump Drake May.
I think May will go. But, I mean, you never know.
Then you got the Heisman Trophy winner.
Here's what you have to talk about. It's how much a guy in a personnel department falls in love with a guy, right?
Yep.
I mean, we can't count that. You know, there might be a guy working in one of the personnel departments early on that looks at him and, you know, here, going the other way. Patrick Mahomes is another example, right? People thought the Chiefs were out of their minds taking Patrick Mahomes.
They thought the Bills stole that deal
Yeah.
because the Bills traded for it.
All right, so
Picks.
do we break now?
Yep.
All right, I want to make sure I'm doing things right.
Actually, I was going to need stick for a second, but that's okay. When we go to
All right.
break.
We can keep talking.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to break.
Oh, we are?
Hey, Stick.
Yeah.
You're wearing some pretty good gear there.
Yeah, you can't get this though. This is my own stuff, but you can get some other cool stuff at woodwardsports.com/shop. You got that cool throwback Pistons there, Holmes be cooking, Woodward Sports old school Tiger stuff. Go get it right now and get yourself a cap while you're there. woodwardsports.com. Click on shop.
Yeah, baby.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Co. has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today.
Yeah.
Visit the Steak Chef in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or order online at fairwaypacking.com.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Tom Mazaway for Big Boy.
Oh, yeah, more food.
More food for you. And there's a new Big Boy, by the way, opening on Woodward. It's going to be a super Big Boy. Where Pasquale's used to be.
Yep.
It's going to be the Mac Daddy of Big Boys. You want to get there,
salt.
have a Big Boy. They got the best shakes in town, but start your day with a great breakfast. The stuffed potato pancakes, those omelets, the lumberjack in Santa Fe. Outstanding. How about those apple pie hotcakes? Hey, Sean, they got veal parmesan. You got to try the veal parmesan, the Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, and all those great shakes and pies at your local Big Boy. Look at that cake.
Hey,
Thank you, Lydia.
Birthday to
When are you
Matt.
guys going to
Oh, I
get
thought
into
you were
that
talking about
cake?
Lissa.
Like, when
Well,
are you
we're
going to...
done. You're going to have a slice.
I'm not going to have any cake. I'm just
No?
not. No. I told you what, like, I love food, but, like, sweets for me, I don't... Not a
Maybe
sweets
you
guy.
don't want to ruin your appetite for dinner. What are you having for dinner tonight?
I haven't figured that out yet. It's amazing that you say that.
Probably
I
Fairway
should-
or Big Boy.
Hey, you know what? I wish that one was open down the road.
How
I get
about
one
our
of
boy-
those seasoning salts to go and
How's
everything.
our boy Davey Hub doing?
Haven't talked to him in a while.
No?
No, haven't talked to him in a
We
while.
miss you, Dave.
No, you know what? I probably should have put something on the smoker. It would have been
It
Great
would have
day
been
to
done
do
by
it.
now. By the time you get
You know
home.
who else is a big? You know, T. Foss loves
yeah.
to. He
course.
loves to do that stuff.
He loves baby meat.
Say hi to this guy.
How do you guys? Yeah,
Who?
ladies and gentlemen, Stick.
Oh, hey,
said-
everybody.
Stick, you like the stuff he cooks? I call it baby meat. It's the meat that fall apart in the smoker. You like that?
If it's coming off a baby animal, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Shout out to PETA.
Did you amen to that?
I call it baby meat because it's so soft. It just falls apart.
Oh, it's so good.
Wouldn't you ever try to cut into a steak?
I spend hours. You could cut into a steak and still grill it and do it right. Get that nice char, little smoke flavor.
Well,
That's what,
char. I don't like the smoke flavor.
I'm part caveman, Maz. I love the fire taste.
Whatever.
The people
No,
that
Mass. You know what you should do? Get like a nice
go
steak.
boil your steak, man.
And like seriously, just flash grill it, real quick on one side, real quick
called
on
blue.
the other
Okay.
side. Baby, I'm telling you,
Outstanding.
just get that little sear. It sears everything inside. You could even go reverse.
I cooked
sear if
steaks
you
last
wanted.
night on a cast iron pan at home. Smoked the hell out of my kitchen, and so good.
So you like your steaks medium rare, right?
I do. Yep.
Now, if you're doing the smoker, isn't everything well done?
No.
No.
I mean, you don't traditionally smoke steaks. Let's be honest with you. It's more for like ribs, chicken wings.
If I'm doing so, I did a prime rib last year
I
for
love
Christmas
prime
Eve.
rib.
Okay.
Standing rib roast.
This is where you have to have your trusty thermometer there to keep an eye on, because with something like a prime rib, what you have to do is you have to keep it in that area where if you like it medium rare, you cook it rare. And then you let it sit for 10 minutes and it'll go up a notch.
Yeah.
And the same thing, if you do it medium rare,
Suck that
trust
juice
me,
back in.
its resting period, it'll go up to medium. And you know as well as I do, there's a huge difference. When you're having
Big time.
prime rib,
Yeah.
there's a huge difference between
Yeah.
medium rare and rare. Huge difference. Okay? Some people might say you ruined it. Lamb especially. If you go beyond medium, then it starts to get that gamey taste,
Correct.
and you don't want that gamey taste,
not
right?
at all. Not at all.
Did you come over to my house when we had that big smoke a couple of years ago? Were you
No,
there?
I have not had the pleasure of visiting the Baligian estate. That was
Yeah,
probably
you're gonna
Mr.
have to come
Arthur
over.
Smith.
You're gonna have to. I know a bunch of guys from Woodward came over that
Yep.
day, and I had some.
Yeah, I
mutual
missed
friends.
that.
We have no. I do it 2-3 times a year. You know, sometimes 20 guys come over, sometimes 40 guys come over. So next time I do one, I'll tell you, and you'll change your tune about
I know
baby.
I will. I know.
I can hear you
I'm
right
only
now,
busting
man.
your chops.
Do you got any more of those ribs, Sean?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm gonna go, mama, right?
I'm only breaking your chops,
I know,
man.
I know that. So
It's all good.
Smoked chicken wings are the best, man.
Yeah.
That's the best chicken wing there is.
It is. There's no doubt about that. Boy, you guys, we're gonna go back to the days of the smoke show, right?
Smoke show, bring it out.
The smoke show.
I got to give a shout out to Maz. Even though it's his birthday, look what this man got me.
Yeah.
Because I just had my first child.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
tell you that in person.
and
I'm
look at
sorry.
that.
It was rude of me.
Look at that.
You earned it, man.
Even though it's your birthday.
A hell of a dad. A hell of a dad.
It's begun. 2
And
weeks in, and we're rolling.
It's the greatest, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I got a lot more appreciation for you and how much you love your girls
I'm
and
so
stuff like
jealous
that.
right now. I can't even tell you, man. I love coming home to see my baby girls. Sean, I still would have. I'd be Tony.
Sean looks
Randall.
terrified.
I'd be Tony Randall. I'd be having babies at 90. I would.
Fuck that.
I love it.
Frick that.
You're done.
Oh my
you're
gosh,
happy?
yes.
You're happy. Jack's gone.
No.
Lauren's gone.
No,
You're
there's
happy?
no. There's a big difference. I could not go through the diapers and
I love
preschool and
wiping
all
on a
that
good
stuff
diaper.
again.
What's
I
nothing
couldn't.
wrong with
Well,
that?
get used to it,
couldn't
man. You're only a couple years away.
Not that, man. Not that. Come on, man.
There is
No.
nothing.
That sucks.
I thought it would be awful, but it really hasn't been that bad
It's
changing
awesome.
diapers.
There is nothing in life that compares to like being a father, though. There's nothing. And let me be the 2,338th person to tell you, do take it in. Because one day they're going to be gone. Like, honestly, and we're going through that right now, and it's weird, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, wow, I remember you. We got married a few years back, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's that kind of.
It comes
scenario.
full circle, right?
Yeah,
like it's like,
it's
oh man, I
amazing.
remember why I married you and wanted to do this kid thing in the first place.
Yeah, it's amazing, but
it just gives you a respect for your parents that I never had. You know, like I knew my parents loved me, but I didn't know my parents like felt this way about me,
man.
right?
Unconditional.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom, I'm 62 years old. When I'm going back to Jersey, she'll say, "Oh, Tommy's coming home. Tommy.
Oh yeah.
Little Tommy, he's coming home."
Would you really? You would go like?
I would do it again.
Oh my!
In a minute.
No way.
In a minute.
No way.
Yeah, I'm 42 years old. My mom still calls me her baby.
Yeah.
Like, now I get it.
No way. No way.
No?
No way. I couldn't do it.
I don't know, man.
Like,
What about Kool-Aid? He
you know
just
what
had
it
his.
is?
Yeah, Kool-Aid had a kid the day after me.
Did you? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Kool-Aid's
we had
got
the same
4. Look
due
how
date.
young he is. He's got 4 kids.
Hey, look, as soon as my wife and I got married, we started right away, man. Had our
Right.
first kid a year after we got married, and we haven't slowed down, you could say.
Are you done?
Yeah, we're definitely done.
Well, you got 4. That's really good.
Is there going to be a snip?
Shit, that's what she wants. That's what she wants. She's
No
definitely
snip.
like, we are done.
No snip.
No snip.
No
Just let
snip.
whatever happen
Team
happen.
no snip.
No snip.
Hey, thank you, my brothers.
No
Thank you.
snip.
I hope she's watching right now, babe. I hope you're watching right now. I got the support of my brothers here. No snip.
No snip.
No
Sean,
snip.
Sean, I got a hunch that you're part of the snip club.
No.
You're out there. And
What a random hunch.
I mean, for all I know, I'm firing blanks. I don't know.
That's the way to go. If you can achieve that.
I might be firing blanks for all
You're
I
not
know.
afraid to get
I don't
one
want to
past
put it
the
to the
goalie?
test or anything.
You don't want to put one past the goalie.
Oh heavens, no! I don't know.
wanna put one past the
No,
goalie.
you know what it is? Like honestly, for me, been there, done that, and to watch like my daughter's loving life at State right now. My son's out in LA. Like that's
Man,
awesome.
You hit it big, man.
That's awesome.
It's
Good
awesome.
for you.
Yeah,
Like,
great.
like that.
If you can
That's
get
what you
happy
want.
kids, if you can get adult happy kids,
100%.
you have hit it out of the park.
And Jordan Peterson, I love a lot of his philosophies. He's like, if you got kids that want to hang out with you too, you've succeeded. Like
absolutely.
that's the thing.
That
You know,
is
if
it.
your kids want to come hang out with you, that's the ultimate reward.
Maz, I don't know if you were the same way. There was a period with my son around 16, 17 where it wasn't
Correct.
too cool for a couple
yeah.
of years. He still liked to go to baseball games with me because we had, tickets at Comerica Park for many years.
Yeah.
That was like the one thing that Jack, I don't want to like plan your social life, but we have tickets to Friday's game. Oh no, I'm going. And
Good.
that was about it. But for a couple of years, he kind of,
course.
yeah. Okay, Dad, I know we watch those Michael Myers movies, but I'm going out with my friends tonight,
Correct.
you loser, and all
I
that.
got girls. I never had the pleasure of having a son, a brother or a son, and I would have loved it. But my girls, I brought them up loving sports, loving hanging out, loving movies. I embarrass them as much as I possibly can.
I'm going to be intrigued to hear with your daughters.
Yeah.
Because it was different for my daughter. I won't tell you. With your daughter, what was it like? Did they go through that period where they didn't
yeah.
want to? How long
God,
was
yeah.
it?
It's in some parts it still goes
Is
on.
it?
In some parts, it's still, my little 16-year-old still loving her dad, but not as many hugs and kisses anymore and stuff like that. And it is what it is. And she tells mom certain stuff she won't tell me. So it supposedly it comes full circle, and it does, because my sisters worship my dad. Sammy Maz at 96 years old still
God
has my
bless
4
him.
sisters.
Yeah.
That's what they
doting on
say.
him.
Girls
Yep.
will take care of you when you
Correct.
get old. Boys,
They dote
they
on
just
them.
go off and do their damn thing.
Correct. Here I am in Michigan. Everyone's in Jersey. So
Yeah.
My
There it is.
daughter at 17 went through like a little period.
Yeah.
And when I say a little period, it was a little period where it was just like, and like, okay.
It hurts.
But then it ended. Now
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like she's my pal again. Like
Good.
it's like when she comes
It's
home,
great.
when she comes home from state, it's like, all right, Dad, we have to finish watching we're
Yep.
trying to catch up on Breaking Bad
Oh,
and a
Maddie
couple
and me
different
are
series.
on Better Call Saul.
Right.
I watched it
Oh,
100
it's great.
times, but she's catching up.
Great
She
show.
loves
Great
Breaking
show.
Bad. I brought my kids up. They know good TV.
I'm telling you that we went in the opposite direction. We went Better Call Saul first.
Wow.
Loved it. That was unbelievable.
It's a fantastic
I
show.
think
It's a slow start on that show, but once it gets going, it's
people are going to
unreal.
get mad at me. I liked it better than.
No, you can. It can.
I liked it better
Yep.
than
It
Breaking
can.
Bad.
No
Yeah,
question.
I did. I liked it better.
I'm loving it right now. I'm loving it again. I'm watching just finished season 2, which was awesome. Season 3, I've watched it 100 times, but I'm so enjoying it again. I'd rather watch shows that I already know that I love than some of the newer shows.
Yeah,
that
we're
are
on
out
Game
now.
of Thrones again.
Oh, yeah? I
Yeah.
never watched Game of Thrones. I don't like that kind of period.
Neither do
piece.
I. Neither do I.
I've
But
heard so
Game
many
of Thrones
people
is
say that.
next level. Like, honestly, I'm not that guy. I'm not Dungeons and Dragons
Right.
and
That's not
war.
for me.
Like, they're not for
Lot
me
of
either.
good nudity, though.
Great show. Yeah. some great boobies.
Yeah.
Great
Some
boobies.
All right, can I have a proud dad moment? You know
course.
whose house my son was at just a couple days ago since it came up? I'm not making this up.
I know. He's Hollywood, man.
Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Really?
Amelia Clark.
He was,
All
he was
right.
at Bob Odenkirk's house. Yeah, he was like,
That guy is
Dad, you should
royalty.
see this place. I was
Jeez.
like, okay, cool.
He's from Michigan.
Was Kim Wexler there?
I think he's from Chicago, right? Isn't
Odenkirk?
I
He's a
think
Michigan guy.
Is he really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
He's I
Kim
believe,
Wexler.
Detroit guy.
Is he really?
Kim
Yeah.
Wexler's my girl.
Because
Ray
they
Seahorn.
had, he went to school with Bob's kid at DePaul.
I'll be.
Ray Meyer.
Yeah.
And they became buddies and everything. And so I know he's got a place in Chicago. He's got a place in
Anywhere he
LA.
wants.
Yeah, he's got another place too. But he was actually at his
That's
house, and it was
awesome.
like,
Oh, you're right.
And then I told him, I was like, okay, I don't want to go fanboy. Don't tell him how much I love Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Because it really, I mean, I
It's
absolutely
fantastic.
love that
He is
show.
great.
What do you guys think of the news today? College football playoff going to the 5-7 format.
Let's explain what that is to everybody. The college football playoff is doing they call the 5-7 plan. And what that means is they're taking the top 5 ranked conference champions and they're taking the next 7 highest ranked teams. That's how they're going to do the playoff. And I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I kind of like the at-large kind of team, but we'll see if they get in the top 12.
I have a red flag that let me bury the lead. I have a red flag, and it's a just in case, but I'm going to bring up a couple scenarios just to support my red flag. I absolutely, positively love the idea of on-site games in that first round.
Correct.
I think it's fantastic.
You have to.
It is awesome. To give the first 4 will have a bye for people that aren't familiar with it. The first 4 will have a bye, and then the 5 seed will play the 12 seed, the 6, 11, and it will
4
be
games. That's 4 games.
on-site games.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I think that's awesome. I think that's absolutely awesome, wherever it may be. So let's say Michigan. Michigan is the 5th seed.
Right. They would host.
No, they wouldn't be the 5th seed. Let's say the 6th seed, right?
Okay.
Let's say the 6th seed. They would host the 11th seed.
Right.
Could you imagine like number 6 Michigan hosting number 11 Mississippi at the Big House in the second week of December?
Right.
Like, that's pants around your ankle stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It really is. Right?
Yeah.
Well, and the thing I love about it too is it's keeping these teams together, right? Instead of this month off between end of the
Oh, I
season
hate
and
that.
bowl games, when these are 19-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids, you don't know what the hell they're going to be up to during that month. And sometimes during the transfer portal now, it ruined all the bowl games. Now it's still important past
Right.
the regular season. You're going to stick with your team, and to me, that's what's important. The best part about this is we're going to get to see these guys play for weeks instead of, oh yeah, you're in a bowl a month and a half from now. Like, we'll even see if half your team's playing.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Michigan State hosting Texas A&M, like in an 8-9 matchup.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Bring it
like,
on.
You gotta
the
be kidding
Aggies
me.
are coming to Spartan Stadium the second week
Michigan
of December?
State at 8? You got to be kidding me.
Like we talked about earlier, how they forget, right? I promised myself I wouldn't become what I detest. You guys have bragging
Listen, man,
rights.
you got
You're the
John
national
Elway.
champion.
I'm not you guys. I
Fine.
just know
Yeah.
Michigan State sucks.
Now, Sean, let me ask you this.
What do you want me to say? I
They
can't
were
say
good when
anything.
D'Antonio was
I
there.
can't. Yeah, that's my. And none of you people would admit it when he was here.
I hate him.
Luckiest team on earth.
Listen,
It was
I
the worst
hate
bit
him.
ever.
I hate him. That means he was very good.
Yeah, that's.
I
If you
hate
follow
him.
Matt's logic, that's
I hate his guts. I do.
There's one red flag to me, all right? And I want to throw this out
Where
to
are
you.
they going to get all these games in?
No. And I know that I'm talking about rare examples, but it has to be brought up only because it came up. Are you guys 100% sold on the bona fide conference champion. Now, before, do you guys remember back in 2012? Okay,
refresh my memory.
You had Penn State on probation. This was in that Leaders and Legends debacle.
Oh,
okay,
God.
You had Penn State on probation. You had Ohio State on probation. Okay, so Wisconsin wins the division at 7-5. Just a middle of the road Wisconsin team, right?
So the usual West winner.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was Leaders and Legends back
Right,
then.
right.
Because if you remember, Michigan and Michigan State were on the other side because
Correct.
Michigan State the next year beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. And Nebraska won. And I wanted Nebraska was 10-2. Okay, it wasn't a great Nebraska team, but 10-2 Nebraska taking on 7-5 Wisconsin. And Wisconsin beat them like 70-14 or some shit. Crap like that. Shit.
Strike three.
Right? Do you remember that? And they destroyed them. And so that year, the Big Ten champion was 8-5 Wisconsin, who then went to the Rose Bowl and lost, thus finishing an 8-6 season. Okay? So here, again, the likelihood of it happening, I'll be the first guy to admit it, is small. It's happened in the Big Ten. It's happened in other conferences in the past as well. Are we really sure that we want to guarantee? Can't there be some kind of like provision in there that would say?
Well, they're saying the top 5 ranked conference champions. The top 5 ranked top. So maybe they wouldn't be ranked.
If they're a conference champion and we're using the Power 5, then you have to take the team from the Big Ten, right?
Yep. But
If we're just using the Power 5,
if Wisconsin wins in that scenario, and they're, let's say, 18, and they beat the number 4 Ohio State team, and they win the Big Ten championship, but they're not ranked, they're not a top 5 ranked conference then. Maybe they don't get.
well, you're only using Power 5, right? So I mean, you have to take.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to take. I mean, unless they decide, and this is where it gets interesting. Do you look at? I'll use you, Pete.
All right.
Do you look at 12-0 Bowling Green?
Well, you got to.
Do you look
They be
at
the
12
conference
under those
champion. You got to
circumstances?
get. That's what makes the extended playoff the best. Is that one or two of the Group 6 or Group 5 teams are actually going to have a shot at some of the bigger teams, and you're going to have to take the conference champion from
But
those.
in that scenario, if it's 8-5 Wisconsin, who's not even ranked, they're 8-5. They're not even ranked. Do you automatically give them one of the top 5 seeds, or do you say, you know what? This might be a time to use a provision or something, because I don't think the language allows that. Now, again, let me be the first guy to say it. It hasn't happened often, but it has happened.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, let's
Well, look at this year. Florida State, unbeaten, didn't make the playoff.
right?
There you go. There's your one chance.
Yeah, and so under that scenario, if God forbid, using the Big Ten as an example, like you guys made the crack about the West, okay? Let's say one day Kirk Ferentz, the night before the Big Ten championship game, gets up to get a glass of water and bumps his head.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's an offensive guru. Right? And the next day...
Yeah,
and then the next day, like, they're going out there. I mean, it is Chuck Long of days of war, right? Just firing the ball, chucking the ball all over the place,
Wow,
right?
they're good.
Iowa wins. A fraudulent Iowa team scores they blow up. They score 20 points, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
at
for
least.
Iowa, I mean, that's blowing up. But do you do that? You know what I mean? And that would be my only concern, because I'm with you. I love this model, and I think that you're opening up the opportunity to, and as a guy who did broadcast in the Mid-American Conference, I saw some awesome teams.
Yeah.
I saw a Toledo team go into Penn State and kick the crap
and we got Penn State this year, baby.
out of Penn State. I've seen Marshall teams that were unbelievable with Chad Pennington and Randy Moss. That
Byron Leftwich.
Central Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
Proclaimed national champions.
Right.
That's what I love.
Pepper.
I think you're giving those teams the Boise team, that knocked off Oklahoma
Fantastic.
with the Statue of Liberty and
Fantastic.
everything. That's a guy. Now you're giving those teams
Greatest
an
game ever.
opportunity to say, okay, you know what? We're going to show it to you. We're going to show you how it works. But for me, Maz, I guess that would be my only worry is, are we really tied to taking the top 5 Power 5 champions? Because there could be an exception in a particular year. And I think that'd be a bad look to take 8-6 Wisconsin, for goodness sake, you know?
I think, well, for the first time, they're doing this for the first time, right?
Yes.
They'll tweak it. They tweaked the BCS. They've tweaked what they've done in the 14 playoff. And now you have a 12-team playoff. They're going to tweak that again. Before you know it, it's going to be almost like the Division II football championships, which I like best anyway.
It's the best.
Am I wrong?
It is. No, you're
That's
not
the
wrong.
way to do it. That's true March Madness.
It is the absolute best. And the one thing I appreciate about college athletics now, though, Maz, to your point, the one thing I appreciate about college athletics is they're not playing that game of pretend any longer. And you know what I'm talking about with the game of pretend. Well, this is too much on the student athletes. It has never been about the student athletes. It is not about the student athletes, and you're not even hiding it anymore. And I would always laugh, as a guy who's done Wayne State games for 15 years, Maz, the Division II playoff works.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? And to me, I always laugh and go, now, wait a second. NCAA, are you saying that Division I student athletes are more important than Division II student athletes?
They are.
Right?
They are.
Is that what you're telling me? Because it works just fine in Division II, but one of the things that people used to say all the time is, well, that's too much on the athlete. What? It's not too much on the D2 athlete, Stick.
Yeah, but let's be honest, they're not hitting as hard as the D1s. Like, they're not putting their bodies through exactly what D1 athletes.
Of course they are.
No, they aren't. And that's the only difference between D1 and D2 athletes is just like size and shape. I mean, they're just
still
as fat.
working as hard.
They're working as hard,
To
but
their
it's
level
not
best.
Listen, go watch an SEC team, then go watch Grand Valley and tell me they're in the same conversation. I love Grand Valley. I love Ferris State. Ferris State balls out. But when you look at Division I athletes compared to Division II athletes, just structure-wise, they're built different. And they're not hitting as hard.
I always thought, I know, and I agree with what you're saying as somebody who broadcasted. I think there's more validity to what you're saying than anybody wants to admit. That's not to say that great players can't come out of the GLIAC.
1,000,000%.
Joik Bell,
baby.
Hi, Joik.
Tom Beer.
Tom Beer.
David Kirkus.
You understand.
Circus Kirkus. Dude, I have some stories about Circus Kirkus. He used to come to Windsor when we were hosting male hot body contests for the radio station, and he would lose the hot body contest. An NFL player coming out to Windsor and losing to these strippers from Danny's.
But so, Stick, I agree with your point, but it was always under the guise of this is too much taxation, especially with finals coming up on the student athletes, and it'd be like, wait a second.
Yeah.
So are the academics more important in Division I than Division II? What am I missing here?
They're not.
It's always been such a cop-out, and it's one of the greatest mysteries in life to me is the number one enemy for forward-thinking human beings like me was a guy by the name of Bill Hancock. Bill Hancock was behind the BCS.
Yes.
Bill Hancock was the guy that multiple times came out and said, we are never going to have a playoff. It doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. And magically, through a lot of backroom dealing and glad handing, all of a sudden, Bill Hancock became the face of the college football playoff.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's like one day you're playing for Team Satan and the next day you're playing for Team God. Like it made no sense to me, but that goes to show you what it's all about, and it's all about the almighty dollar. And I'm glad that they have the common sense and the wherewithal now to sit back and go, there is a lot of money to be made from this.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing to me.
They're paying out a lot of money in NIL, but they're making way, way more.
Follow the dollar.
Than that. Now listen,
100%.
In 1 minute, explain to our audience how the Division II playoff works.
So basically, you can have, there are brackets that come up and there are buys. The number one seed gets by, but think of a 24-team bracket where teams get buys. It's awesome. It's absolutely tremendous. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 get your buys, and then you got the next 20 after that, and you play
them down.
Yeah, you play a bracket schedule from that point on. It is tremendous.
It's outstanding.
It allows you to prove it on the field. And I'll use the team that I'm familiar with. When Wayne State made their run to the national championship game. Wayne State wouldn't get in under the old configuration of the NCAA Division I. They were the last one in. They had to go on the road and play on site at every single place, right?
Yep.
Went into in a driving snowstorm, St. Cloud, and pounded St. Cloud. Their running back ran for like 335 yards that day. Went into Kearney, Nebraska, pounded Kearney, Nebraska. Went into, where did we go next? Minnesota Duluth, pounded Minnesota. No, that wasn't a pounding. Went into Winston-Salem and beat the team that was everybody's favorite, everybody's darling, beat them. They eventually lost in the championship game. But, Maz, isn't that what all teams ask for?
That's it.
Let me in and give me a chance to play for it and earn a victory on the field as opposed to what you think you know about each team.
Is there anything better than March Madness, college basketball
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
It's the greatest.
It's phenomenal.
Why can't you just do that?
I think they're starting to finally figure out, to your point, I think they're starting to finally figure out, we can make a lot of money off of this.
Maybe play a little less games in the regular season. Maybe take away the championship games of these conferences, which I think are a waste of time, and just start the playoff ASP. Listen, I can't wait for April in hockey so we can just start the freaking playoffs. I can't wait for June
round.
in the NBA. Let's play. Let's play real games now. That's all I want to watch.
I absolutely love the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Of course, everyone can win. Anyone could win.
Growing up for us, so many of those series were, right? I mean, they really were. And now it is every night. It seems so many of these series go to 7 games. It's such a cool thing.
Look at the Bruins, how great they were a few years ago.
No, last year.
Sorry, Panthers. Sorry.
Unbelievable.
Sorry.
Isn't it funny the Panthers did it? They were the hot team 2 years ago, and last year they beat the hot team.
And it flipped.
We have to break. Desperately need to break. When we come back, we'll talk about dumb things. I don't even know where we're going to go next.
Who cares?
Stick close, Sean. You're after. You're going to do less after Kool-Aid does the meats.
Definitely. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Co. has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or order online at fairwaypacking.com.
Sean?
Hey, what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people, and this is exactly what Les Stanford has done. They've added Les Stanford Buick GMC. It's the same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. More of
At work,
Ermanni
and at home.
and Edwards.
We're there
And I'm
with
talking
smarter
over commercial
security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
It is wicked awesome. You know what else is wicked awesome? Good news and bad news. The bad news is the insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan. The good news is that Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss will make you... Well, see, I made a mistake there, Chad. I know you're going to let me have it on that one. Swiss will make sure your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Over to Sean once I fix his camera. Hang on, Sean. I have it on the wrong camera because that's the way it goes in this world.
You know, I've talked about Lady Jane's for just a few years now.
You think?
Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. You can register to win a trip of your dreams, an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NC2A tournament. That is right. No expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
That's wicked awesome.
I've said that line a few times.
Hey.
I did those reads for like 20 years.
Hey, you know what? We're getting the Midwest Regional here, at the end of March. We will send a team to the Final Four this year, which is exciting. Can't wait to go to Little Caesars and see that. And then in a couple of years, we will host the Final Four again.
I have been fortunate, Maz. I have been to, let me think off the top of my head, I've been to 5 Final Fours.
Nice.
5. When you know it, the one year Michigan State won, I wasn't there.
You weren't there in 2000?
I was not
there in your stead.
I was there in 99 and 2001. I
Yeah.
missed 2000, and obviously I was there in 2009 as well.
Yeah.
So the 1 year I'm not, maybe that's the secret sauce, though. Izzo's going to be on the horn with me going, we don't want you there. Don't want you there.
09 was what, North Carolina?
Yeah, that was the one here.
And that was the Steph Curry's Final Four, too, wasn't it?
Yep. That was, for people, that's a circus. That's just an absolute circus, the Final Four. I have been told by more people than you can shake a stick at, Maz, and I know you want to get to some NFL stuff.
No, I don't care.
But I have been told by more people than you can shake a stick at. And I'm going to be interested to hear from, like, Kool-Aid because, dude, you are the young person in this room, okay? You are, all right? You got Pete, who's like 48. You got me, who's like 72. You have Maz, who's like 78. Like, as I've gotten older, and now Stick walks in. He can represent the younger crowd.
He's in the 30s.
As I've gotten older, Maz, you brought it. Listen, I don't want to go to the game.
Really?
I don't. I'd rather sit on my couch.
Even if it's in your own hometown?
No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to the game. Like the NC2A tournament, I'd rather stay at home. I have been told, though, that by multiple people, that one of the greatest viewing experiences you can ever have is being in Vegas that whole first weekend of the tournament.
That is the busiest weekend in Vegas.
I've been told
year. Even more than the Super Bowl.
I've been told it's off the hook.
It is. I've been there once for a Final Four in Vegas.
Stick, are you still I like to go to the game guy?
Depends on the game.
Okay.
Because when the Final Four was here in Detroit, I got to go watch Steph Curry at Davidson.
Yeah.
And now, you know, it's a memory that I have forever being able to talk about that. So, like, I'm a big fan of whenever you can witness history,
right,
it's worth the price of admission. So I'll go do it. But, you know, like when they have the Alamo Bowl here or the Quick Lane, whatever bowl, I'm not going to that. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to spend my time.
You miss it.
I do.
All right, Kool-Aid, are you still I like to go to game guy?
I am. It's changed, though, since I've started covering the Pistons and such. It's changed just slightly, and I don't know if that's due to the work part of it. But like Stick said, whenever you have an opportunity to kind of be somewhere where something special can happen, I like to go to the game.
I would have loved to be in Ford Field for the Lions playoff games.
No
I would have killed to be there, but, you know, other obligations but just to experience that. But also, the crazy fan in me doesn't want to go there because if they lose, I'm just like, man, God. Like,
I have to police myself.
I passed up on Game 5 Piston tickets in 2004. My mom's like, I could buy us tickets.
That's a
like,
5-game sweep.
I know. And I was like, Mom, don't worry. But I was like, I don't want to put in all this money, put in all this effort, go there, and my team loses.
All right,
Like,
so let's use the Lions as an example, okay? Like, the Lions are finally going to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
The Lions, it's happening. Like, this is real. Forget the missed opportunity from last month, and it hurts. It was a missed opportunity. It doesn't mean that they aren't going to take the next step, but it was a missed opportunity. Next year, they're going to the Super Bowl.
I agree.
Okay?
Yep.
Do you have to go to that game? Do you guys have to go to that game?
I want to. It's in New Orleans. I've never been there. I love going to Super Bowls, but if I don't go as a media member, there's no way in possibility that I could afford to buy a ticket, and I could not spend $10,000 to $15,000 to go to an event. I can't.
It's a bucket list thing. Like, I want to go to a Super Bowl in my life, and if the Lions happen to be in it, let's go.
Now, you've been to a few Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
Me too.
I'll
And I
never
love
go
it.
again.
I love it.
I'll never go again.
That's because you just don't like waiting around in crowds and
People.
waiting to go. Yeah, I know. Trying to park.
It's miserable.
I get that.
You guys are so
Listen,
spoiled. I love it. Like,
Right.
honestly, it's like you guys are living in a penthouse and like,
No, I think,
like
I think-
Maz left the second playoff game. He was in Ford Field, and he was like, you know what? I already experienced
I
one
didn't have a
last
good
week.
seat,
I'm good.
And I'm like, I got to come back here to do the post game. I might as well come back, listen to Dan and Lomas on the way back.
Fantastic calls.
And get here for the second half and watch you guys.
Yep.
And it worked out.
But the amount of people that were like dying to
I
get in that
know.
game, and you're just like,
Stick,
I was here last week. You know.
No, I'm glad that you called me out. I'm serious, and I'll tell you why. What I realized, for years, I was doing the pregame show on Fox, or I was doing a pregame radio, postgame radio, or whatever. And I'll tell you, this is a true story. Last year on Thanksgiving, okay, my daughter walks downstairs on Thanksgiving. She gets to the bottom of the stairs and she looks at me, and
what are you
she's
doing here?
staring at me, and I'm like, "Do you remember me? I'm your dad." Bad night, Laura. And she's like, "Dad, you've never been home Thanksgiving my whole life."
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, cool. Aren't I a great dad?" A half hour later, my son comes downstairs and does the exact same thing. And then I thought about it from their vantage point. Thanksgiving to my kids is 7:00 at night.
It's a work day.
That's
Daddy.
seriously. That's whenever Dad gets home from the game. He had the Fox thing, he had the radio thing, whatever the case may be. It's 7:00 at night. So yes, in that regard, I've been really spoiled. But at the same time, I've also gotten to the age where I'm telling you point blank, when, not if, when the Lions get to a Super Bowl, there's no place I want to be than sitting in my front room.
Wow.
Because when the game ends, I'm going to call Uber, and I'm going to ask Uber, because I'm going to be drinking like it's my job, okay? And I'm going to have Uber drive me to my grandfather's grave and to my father's grave, and I'm going to dance on their damn graves because they told me I was wasting my time with this franchise my entire life. And I'm going to do a little Super Bowl jig on their graves and go, "Here we are. Hope you guys are watching the Super Bowl and enjoying it." I can't imagine being anyplace else than with close friends or loved ones watching the Lions do that, because I will cry. And if you guys all want to make fun of me, you go right ahead and make fun of me.
I could cry right now thinking
I
about
will
it.
cry my eyes out when the Lions win.
But I love part of those tears is the vindication, because this year for me, as a beat up Lions fan my entire life, it was so nice to get on the post game show every day and
Popping
just tell
your
people,
champagne.
popping champagne, just telling people you never believed, you don't enjoy this like I enjoy this. You know why? Because you jumped off the bandwagon. You don't enjoy this like I enjoy this. You know why? Because every Thanksgiving my family was telling me I was stupid for watching the Lions.
Always.
Guess what?
Always.
That feeling was finally lifted, and that wasn't the sole reason I was rooting for the Lions to win, but man, it was part of the satisfaction of it. Finally, shut up, family members. I'm not wasting my. You can wait for dinner on Thanksgiving today.
It's a great. You know what it is? It's a great meal. I went to Fairway and I picked up some dry aged steak and I picked up some brisket. And you know what? I got your favorite side and I cooked it perfectly. That's what this year was. It was a wonderful side. It isn't the reason why you enjoyed it. You enjoy it because you're a fan. But yeah, absolutely. That's part of it. And I know Stick and I talked about it. Listen, 2 years ago, when a guy that used to work here. I almost said his name. A guy that used to work here. You remember they were going, you guys got to come in the Lions limo. You got to come in the Lions limo. And I was working with Joik, and I said, give me 2 years. Give me 2 years.
Talk about fishing.
For two reasons. Number one, I knew anybody with half a brain in their head, that's why you make that deal for those picks and to grow and let Brad cook and all that shit. And for the crap.
Stuff.
And the second reason is, and I'll say this publicly to Stick, because Stick and I went back and forth on this. I didn't think Jared Goff was a guy. I openly admit it. I had no problem saying it. I think people in our business, like, you're allergic to, like, yeah, I didn't see it. Great. Doesn't change anything. It's like I'm going to enjoy every second of it. But to me, it was twofold. I vividly said, check me out in 2 years. It was our friend who, you know who I'm talking about.
Kennedy?
No, the other guy.
Art?
Yeah. I didn't know if I'm allowed to mention his name or not.
Say his name.
But like literally,
he's not Voldemort.
He goes, you got to come in the limo. And I said, 2 years. Give me 2 years. Like, this team was building up to 2023.
Yeah.
And that's what made it so fun. Is like,
man.
for
They
the
said
first
3 years, and they hit it.
For the
3
first
years.
time in our life, you sat back and you were like, oh my gosh, they're on track. Yeah. They're doing things in a competent manner, you know? And it was, so because of that, it was yeah, there was an added bonus to it, absolutely.
It's mind-boggling what they
nice.
did. Mind-boggling. To your grandfather and father, rest in peace, gentlemen. Do you blame them for telling you what they told you?
No.
All the stuff that they had to go through?
I told you it was Thanksgiving 1980, Maz, and Vince Evans throws a touchdown on the last play of the game to tie the Lions.
Here comes the run back.
And then
overtime.
The opening kick, they run the touchdown back.
Yep.
And my dad and grandfather are laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm like 10, I'm broken.
Yes.
Like I am literally, I don't know if I've ever been healed from
Yeah.
it. And I'm smart enough not to ask the cop, my dad, why are you laughing? Shut up, you're dumb. So I walk over to kindly Grandpa. Grandpa, why are you laughing because the Lions lost? I'm like Cindy Lou or something from, little Cindy Lou. Yeah. Grandpa, why are you laughing because the Lions lost? Oh, Sean, you'll understand it one day. And so, yeah, they told me it was a waste of my time all those years before I was in the business. Yeah. Our tradition Stick, my buddies and I started when we were 16 years old. We went to every Thanksgiving game. That was our thing.
It's awesome.
Great.
We went just.
I had a streak there for a while.
It was great,
Yeah.
So
I've got 30 in a row.
Did you really?
Yeah, I've got 30 in a row.
That's amazing.
Are you? Is it still going?
Yeah.
Good for you.
That's amazing, man.
You know what?
I've been here 31 years.
You're gonna pass
30
me.
in a row.
You're gonna pass me. Do you know how many I got?
How many?
Until the COVID year, 33.
Wow.
86.
Knock wood.
86 to 19. Yeah.
Good.
I love Thanksgiving.
And then the COVID year, we were all banned.
Even when I was a kid in Michigan, in New Jersey, I'll never, ever miss the Lions playing on Thanksgiving, as bad as they were. And the one game that I rooted against them, Giants, LT took it coast to coast. That was it. Other than that, I rooted for the Lions my entire life on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, my dad was a little bit less harsh than yours because he grew up in the middle of New Mexico, and they didn't have any professional sports teams within 200 miles of him. And he always used to tell me when the Lions sucked, he's like, hey, you get to go to a sporting event that's 20 minutes from your house. Like, you appreciate that you have an NFL team. And that's why I've always appreciated the Lions, because just by having an NFL team, we're blessed.
Absolutely.
There's only 32 teams.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cities in this great country, and we got one of them.
I wouldn't have moved to Michigan had it not been for all of our teams. I swear to you. If I will never go to a state.
I am not denying that for a second.
I won't go to a state that doesn't have a team in every sport. And in New Jersey, I was lucky. I had 2, and 3 playing a sport.
I can't imagine you being someplace far away from the NFL.
No, never.
You love the NFL like no other.
No.
I can't imagine.
Maz would be one of those small town college boosters, like just going nuts if he lived in the middle of nowhere.
I still have my Sears bedspread.
The Durham Bulls. You'd be going to every minor league baseball game you could.
I would, Stick.
Right, I know.
I would.
And that's all they have, though.
Yeah,
I lived in Grand Rapids for a while, and they go nuts for the Whitecaps and the Griffins.
They don't have a football team.
And now it's the Gold.
So the only one in this room that could semi-relate to this is you, Kool-Aid. In 2009, I will never forget as long as I live. Okay, just hearing you bring this up, Stick, reminds me of this. My son comes home from school. He's in 4th grade at the time. Like, tears in his eyes. Like serious, real true story, okay? It's 4th grade tears, okay? But he comes home. I'm like, Bud, what's up?
Did he get bullied?
No, he goes, Dad,
Yeah.
because he was a Lions fan.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's real. Like, that is not an exaggeration. I am not saying this. Like, really and truly, him and one other kid, the kid that lived around the block, were wearing Lions gear, and all the other little kids in their Peyton Manning and Tom Brady jerseys
Front runners.
were running around talking about how the Lions suck and how can you be a fan of the Lions. We're 29 miles away from Ford Field where we live in Northville.
Right.
You know, like what are we doing here? But that's how bad this franchise stunk it up for a while. Now, you know, as an adult, it's different. When you're a kid, you want to root for a winner and all that stuff. As an adult, you could, I'll just speak for me. I could never imagine switching my allegiances. But like I told my son, I said, kid, one day they're going to get it right. One day they're going to get it right, and it's going to be a blast. You know, I did the opposite of my dad, but I'm with you, Stick. I've always felt that way. Are you kidding me? I used to love to go to the dump called the Pontiac Silver.
I love that.
That's where men became men at that trough.
Absolutely.
If you went to that trough, you became that was a rite of passage in Detroit. From
It was
your own boy.
Tiger Stadium
dump.
first, though.
Not Tiger Stadium. Bleacher creatures at Tiger Stadium. I mean, but yeah.
There was nothing redeeming about the Pontiac
the
Silver.
amount
Can
of
we be
fights
honest?
that you would
No,
witness.
there was.
Yes,
it
there
was.
is. Hold on, let
It
me
was
explain.
our dump, though.
Yeah, but let me explain.
Yeah,
It was
like
my
the Joe.
dump.
The Joe was crap,
such a
Bro,
dump.
but it was our crap.
$10 bleacher seats.
The
You know
big
what
boy.
the bleachers are?
The big boy.
They're on the field. The bleacher seats for $10 in the
Yep.
corner of the end zone.
Well, they could never sell out 80,000 tickets, so it would be a local blackout. Me and my friend Tracy,
Well, yeah,
we
you
would
need it
hop
on
in the
van.
car, go drive up there, pay our $10, and then just go sit anywhere the hell you want. Because it was.
Do you know I have my
beautiful.
bleacher seat? I picked it out when the place was getting
You got a
demolished.
seat too? I got one too.
Yeah, I mean, Rich Adamo, the Adamo demolition guys, were taking it down, and he's a friend of mine. I literally picked my bench out.
That's awesome.
I have 2 seats at home from the Silverdome on a stand. It's in my office.
Yep.
And I got my Tiger Stadium seats.
I got 'em in the basement.
I handpicked my Silverdome ones.
But I think the difference
awesome.
between like those places and a couple of places you guys mentioned is there was something incredibly endearing about Tiger Stadium. Like when you first walked up that ramp and you looked out on the field, it was breathtaking. It was classic. Even the Joe, and I'm with you, Stick. It was a dump, okay? But you had like these incredible memories there, and the press box that shouldn't have been there, and there was nothing endearing about the Silverdome. No. But I say this all the time.
Best press box.
It was my dump.
Food was bad.
Seriously.
Parking was. You get sucked in the door because of the dome when you were walking down.
We
to get in
tackled
the
each
lot.
other for our tailgates. We tackled each other on the cement over at
But that was the same thing as playing on that AstroTurf.
Yes,
that
it
AstroTurf
was.
was cement. Like, yeah, that place was awful.
I was going to say, I don't know if Stick got to experience this. I know Kool-Aid's not old enough, but Piston games at the Silverdome.
Yeah.
Did you get to experience that, Stick?
Yeah, I believe that was 87 season. I was able.
88 was 87, 88 was the last one.
Because Bill Davison got mugged downtown. He was like, "We're not playing downtown anymore." That's what happened. That's the story I know.
Yeah.
So that's why they built the Palace?
That's why they built the Palace. He got robbed downtown when they were playing downtown. He was like, "We're just going to the burbs, baby."
The curtain was unbelievable. Like
So
it's
dumb.
one of those things
So
you can
dumb.
explain it to people, but okay. So literally, there was a giant curtain hiding half of the court.
Right.
Okay, like
Pete, I'm sure you can find a picture.
And then
Yeah, I'll
the
find one.
worst part is when the Pistons started getting hot, they went from having like 15, 20,000 people there to having like 45, 50,000 people there. And they kept
Had to
having
move the curtain.
They moved the curtain.
They moved the curtain.
There was a giant, like, think of like, I don't know, almost like Wizard of Oz. Like when you walk in that grand hall and there's this giant curtain, you had to move the curtain. It was incredible.
Man,
I loved it. It was so much fun.
I wasn't here then, but I can imagine how great it was.
Kool-Aid's not believing a word of this. He's seen some of those crowds down at LCA, and he's like, Kool-Aid, seriously, there would be 40. The Celtics came in, if it was a weekend night, you're talking 45, 50,000 people. I'm not joking.
Easy.
Crazy. That's
Easy.
wild. I
Yeah.
mean, to your point, though, I don't know if I'm doing my son right or wrong, but I did tell him he sees like the passion I have for like the 04 Pistons and being able to celebrate that. He, out of all his friends, is the Pistons fan.
Good for
all
him.
his other friends, they
Right.
got Kevin
Warriors.
Durant, they
The
got
Pistons are
Giannis
forgotten,
jerseys,
man.
they have
They-
Devin Booker. A lot of them are Steph Curry fans. I
Warriors,
didn't force
yeah.
him into this. He just said he wants to be true to his Detroit sports teams. And when he became a Lions fan, they were not doing well. This season for him, even though he hasn't gone through the lifelong beatdown most of us did as Lions fans, he was so ecstatic. He was so excited. I mean, like when we made the playoffs, like to see my 11-year-old with tears in his eyes, I was just like, yeah.
Did you smack him like you don't even know?
There you go with the curtain in the back. It's like in the top
crazy.
right
Look
corner.
at that picture, Kool-Aid.
That's so wild.
Top right corner, Kool-Aid.
It's beautiful.
So amazing.
By the way, guys, March 17th, St. Patty's
Yep.
Day, will be the celebration at Little Caesars Arena 20 years ago for our Let's Go Going to Work Pistons.
Yep.
The Going to Work Pistons will be celebrated against the Heat on March 17th. Guys, it's 20 years
It
since
does
the
not seem
5-game
like it.
sweep.
It does not seem like that
20
long
years.
ago, man. It really doesn't.
Since Gary Payton and Karl Malone with the Lakers.
Luke Walton had a phenomenal game too.
Tried to beat us, and it
He
ain't
did.
going to happen. It was not going to happen.
We got Luke Walton to that game,
And they wouldn't have been there without Rip Hamilton's with Tayshaun's block.
but Rip saving it, keeping
Yep.
it in bounds.
Rip-
Chauncey
what a
shooting
team,
90% from the
What a
line.
team,
Rip
what a
shooting.
team.
I'm like Baligian when it comes to that team. I can tell you their free throw percentage. I can tell you
So
their field goal
enjoyable.
percentage, their rebounds
Yeah.
per game. I still have all those stats locked in my head because I was on the radio back then on 93.1 DRQ with Jay Towers, Rachel Hunter, who have now gone on to different radio stations. But they used to do a bit called Stump Stick. And, you could not stump me on any facts about that 04 team.
Who was the nighttime guy? He was cool.
Tic Tac.
Tic Tac.
Yeah, that's who got me into radio.
He was good.
Yeah.
He was good.
That 04 team, it's wild that that's 20 years ago, but I remember they won the championship, and literally right after that, I played D2 ball out in Maryland, at a school that Steve Francis grew up behind.
The franchise.
Yeah, and I literally was going to college kind of right after that. I had so much pride, man. I defended my Detroit Pistons to everybody. And then to see them make that run and get back to the finals the next year, man, that team is just special to me for so many different reasons. So many different
Lost in
reasons.
Game 7.
We were
Spurs.
Yeah.
We were we were the home of the Pistons at the time, the station that I was working at, and
Where were you at that time?
I was at the Fan, and
Okay.
so right next door to us was 955.
Yep.
And these guys came in almost on a daily basis.
Yep.
Back when guys used to do that, they'd roll in. Like
Yep.
they'd, all right, well, we're going to talk to you, and then we'll go over and we'll talk to Mojo and all that. I mean, it was surreal.
We were owned by ABC Disney at the time, who was carrying the finals. So like Michelle Tafoya would come on the air with us and stuff like that. It was just such a phenomenal time to be a fan.
It was a great time. Man.
That was
I want
great
these
team.
kids. I want these kids to experience it. Like all the kids around here who are like 20 years old, they don't know any winning of any of our sports teams.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Man.
You touched on this just for a second, and I'm glad we're probably late for break. Whatever.
No, you got like 2 minutes.
Okay. So the younger generation, like with the Lions, right? They haven't seen what we've seen.
No.
There's no doubt about that. And I'm not demeaning anybody. We've seen it. But you also have to remember, because my son and I had this conversation. Okay. I at least, and I was there, saw the Lions beat the Cowboys. I saw them win a division title. I saw them go to the playoffs in 81, 83, 91, 93, 94, 95, 96. You know what?
They had the team of the 90s.
My kid saw crap.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? He saw them go to the playoffs and get hammered against the Saints.
Yep.
He saw them go to the
Seattle.
playoffs and get robbed against Dallas.
14.
He saw them go to the playoffs. That season, 2016, absolutely falling apart. They were 9-4, and then getting the butt handed to them, that awful game against Seattle. So I agree. You and I have seen a multitude of things, but like these young kids, they didn't see anything, man. There was nothing for them to sink their teeth into with this franchise.
I just picture like you standing there staring off in the distance, having like those flashbacks just going on in your head about like fumbles and like I've seen a lot in my Lions day. You don't know what it's like to be with the Lions fan, but it was a rough road. But here we are, and look at how much more you get to enjoy it now.
Oh my gosh, it's the best. That was the coolest thing. I almost want to send a letter to Hollywood and thank them for going on strike, because my son wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for the strike.
Oh,
you know, and it was really cool because the one thing he said to me as I was wiping tears away when he went off to LA a couple weeks ago is he goes, "Dad, do you know how cool it was to sit here and like watch every Lions game with you?" Like that.
It's the one thing in the world.
Price tag on that,
playing catch with my dad and watching a Lions game with my dad is the one thing I would kill to do again.
How do you put?
And Sean, my daughter Lily had an internship this year with the Detroit Lions, so she's been with them before camp and all the way through, and she is off the hook Lions fan now, off the hook, and to watch and go to all those games with her and have pictures taken of me and her at all these games, it's second to none. Like you said, hanging with Jack at home, me hanging with Lil at the game, and watching my daughter on the field throwing T-shirts and having a great time.
And especially like for us, we didn't, I think you knew this. He was working for like The Walking Dead and AMC.
Fantastic.
And then when it ended, he's like, "What do I do? Like, there's a strike." And I go, "Come on for the next 6 months or however long it takes, right?" And it just so happens that he left 2 days before the Super Bowl, so we didn't get a chance to watch the Super Bowl together. We saw literally every Lions game together. I mean, how do you put a price tag on that? And
awesome.
I said, make sure you look up all those little. I almost swore. Make sure you look up all those little bastards from 3rd and 4th grade that made fun of you for being a Lion fan, right?
We're back, baby.
Hey, Maz.
Yes, sir.
You got to get your daughter to intern again. You got to keep all the mojo the same from this past Lions season.
I do, man. I do. Lily was the luck charm. I believe my kid was the luck charm. I always tell her, you broke the jinx, Lil.
And I told Stick we're trying to celebrate our daughter's 1-year birthdays next year with a Detroit Lions Super Bowl.
Fantastic.
Let's do that.
I'm all for it, man.
Let's go.
I'm all for it.
Let's go.
Where are we heading now, Pete?
We're going to go over to Sean.
What am I talking about?
That.
Hey, it's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them day or night, any time at all, and you know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. This is technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. So make sure you call 1-800
Stay out.
That's 1-800 Stay out for Guardian Alarm.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
The most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancellation.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hey guys, it's Maz for Premier Pet Supply, PremierPetSupply.com. Grimace loves Premier Pet Supply, that's for sure. Do not settle for less. Give your pet the best. They are the best in town here in Michigan. Family owned and operated for over 30 years.
The best.
13 Metro Detroit locations. Over 60 brands of food. 60 brands there, Chuck.
60.
At the lowest prices available.
Lowest.
They've got, of course, home delivery for you. Curbside delivery
They'll
if you
bring
like
it to you.
Give them a chance. Premier Pet Supply. Check them out at PremierPetSupply.com. And Sean's favorite game is Jack Labrador. That's right. He doesn't only play
Jack
rock, paper, scissors. You play
Labrador.
Jack Labrador. The best game in Detroit. This deck, it's called the Champions Deck. It is for you. Only $20. Go to jacklabrador.gg. Learn how to play this game. If you're playing rock, paper, scissors and not using this, you're doing it wrong. 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play. Check it out right now at jacklabrador.gg. Hello, Pat.
I can't believe it took so long for you and I to talk about Pat. Yeah,
Oh,
usually
my God.
that's the first couple minutes.
I know. I love Pat Summerall and John Madden. Come on, man. Were they the best? Admit it.
Yes, until the end.
I still say it. They were
Until
the
the
best.
end.
You know, I was on Drew and Mike last week.
All right.
And Mark is there. And
Mark
they bring
Howard.
they bring
I
up
love Mark.
They bring up Grimace. They bring up Summerall. And they played back his final game at the Cotton Bowl.
The Cotton Bowl.
And I watched that game strictly because Pat Summerall was doing the play-by-play.
so bad.
But Sean and Mark Fellhauer will never allow me to enjoy that game. They just rip poor Pat Summerall
The kick
to
is
shreds.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
No, it isn't. Do you
It
remember
is.
Dexter McCluster?
Oh, Dexter
McCluster's
McCluster.
gone. No, he isn't.
No, he isn't. Out of bounds.
Yes, he is.
Fumble.
Oh.
No, it isn't. Cowboys.
All right. This
Aikman.
is a conversation that I had with a buddy of mine, and since you brought it up, okay. John Madden is a legend, right?
Legend.
We can all agree on that.
The
all right?
greatest.
You know what's coming. But
Oh, no.
listen, the last few years,
Oh, God.
he became a caricature of himself. Can we say that? Can we be honest?
Well, he wasn't good with Al Michaels.
Butt sweat, dink, boom. It was like whatever catchphrase. Do you know who in a very short amount of time, in my opinion,
Tony Romo.
Yes! He's absolutely a caricature of himself now.
He is. He's not like he used to be.
Like, I'm not joking.
And that was
2 years
quick.
ago,
That was
two
quick.
years ago, I was like, dude, I like this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, this is, it was different, right?
Yeah.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
He's not working as hard as he used to.
And now he's like I don't know, Jim.
Yeah.
He's
Mailing it in.
dude,
He's mailing it in.
It hasn't been good.
No, he has not been good the last 2 years. And the Super Bowl, he was very, very poor in the Super Bowl. Never even got a chance to ask you about the Super Bowl. A, did you watch it with the same vigor you watch other Super Bowls? And B, what did you think of the finish and the new overtime rule?
I was goo-goo baby for a period of about 48 hours.
I was more than that.
I swore that I wasn't going to watch the
Right.
Super Bowl
We
for
all
about
did.
48 hours.
Yeah, we all did.
And then it passed.
I knew I'd watch it, just not give a damn is the difference.
Yeah, listen, I hate to say it, especially if Flannel's listening. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Dude, he is
He's
one
special.
of one.
He's special.
He's next level. I mean, that's the way it is, and I wasn't surprised in any way, shape, or form. I like the overtime rule a hell of a lot better than I did when the Bills got jobbed a couple years ago. But to me, you're right, Maz. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I can't imagine a scenario where I ever miss a Super Bowl.
No.
But it was a little less than. I mean, while my goo-goo baby of I'm not watching it passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the same,
No.
Yeah,
and you watch. What was your first Super Bowl that you remember watching? and loving?
Super Bowl 11. I
Super
remember,
Bowl 11?
Super Bowl 11.
That would be Cowboys,
Raiders, Vikings.
Raiders, Vikings.
Yeah, that was the first one that I remember.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
And mine was 5. Super Bowl
Colts
5.
and Cowboys.
Colts.
Yeah.
Yep. Jim O'Brien.
Yep,
Jim
Mackey
O'Brien
caught
from
the big
25
pass.
yards out.
So, with that being said, I'm glad you brought that up. I do not believe this to be the case. All right, I really don't. I do think that the Lions are, they're going to take the next step. But it's almost like people aren't allowing themselves to say this. Okay. What if they are the Buffalo Bills?
Or the Vikings.
Yeah. And I'm not even talking about the Vikings from when we were young or the Bills from when we were young. How about the Buffalo Bills from just the last few years?
You're right.
And
Almost.
I'm not saying that the Bills' window is closed yet.
But
okay?
they haven't made a Super Bowl.
It's closing.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
The Josh Allen era is Super Bowl.
It's closing. It is closing. But when you think of all the near misses for the Bills, and the reason that popped in my head is you brought up the overtime, and everybody remembers what happens to the Bills in that overtime.
They didn't get the ball.
I'm sure Bills fans are probably sitting there going, "Okay, this sucks, but we're going to be back."
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that. Now, I don't believe for a second that that's going to be the case with this team.
But how do you
I just
know?
don't.
But how do you know? Right.
And that's why, Maz, I keep saying this. To this day, it has not faded. I hate the missed opportunity feeling that I have about the 2023 Detroit Lions.
No
I hate
question.
It. I wish I could make it go away.
That ain't gonna.
And there's no, I hope, gosh, there's no hater or anything like that. I still think they're going like this. If Brad Holmes hasn't proven himself to you or anybody else, it's because you don't want to see it, okay? But it's not as easy as some people think it to be. And people always think that it's a series of steps. Well, sometimes those steps just stop.
Yeah.
And that
there might be a better team that year than you. There might be a team that's peaking a little bit more than you that particular year. What Dan Campbell said, everyone calls him a meathead. What Dan Campbell said to his team after that game, we might never be back here again, that is true words spoken.
Couldn't agree more.
True words spoken.
For people to give him crap for that, I thought was flat out wrong.
Of course.
Flat out wrong. I mean, he's not lying.
No.
It's not
You
that
got to do
easy.
it all over again. You've got to rip this season in half, throw it in the garbage because it's meaningless. This year was meaningless. Yes, all that work, those 2 wins at home, first time winning in downtown Detroit in the Super Bowl era, it's gone. It's history now. Now you got to start over. You've got to play 18 freaking weeks. Try to win a division or get in a playoff and try to run the table. At least 3 to 4 victories to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And you got to do it again. Again. Start from scratch because you get no bonus points. Hold it. You know what? Those Lions, they only lost by 3-4 points last year. They get extra bonus points this year.
Nobody wants to hear
don't.
it. Nobody, and that's a sad reality. Nobody wants to hear it, including me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be talking about it. I want to talk about the next step. And Maz, you know what? To your
You
point,
scared me with that Bills thing because I was thinking, the 0-4 Bills in the Super Bowl. No, you're thinking these Bills,
the current Bills,
these current Bills. That scares the daylights out of me.
Yeah.
I don't want to think
right?
about.
Didn't everybody think? And listen, consider I love Josh Allen. I do.
I do too.
I love Josh.
I would
Allen.
take him on my team right now.
I love good, bad, and indifferent. You know what you're getting out of the guy, but he's going to make a play more often than not. But I mean, think about especially that Kansas City game, right? They score late. Game's over, right?
Right.
The problem is they left Mahomes, 13 seconds or whatever the heck it was. And I mean, it's insane
That's
when
what
you
it
think
was.
about it. So, it's one of those things where I don't think people are even allowing themselves to consider it. And I think you're doing an injustice to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think maybe one good thing happened about this year, Maz, that we can get out of the way. I couldn't give a crap if the Lions win the division next year.
No. We already
Would
got
I rather they won the division?
Yeah.
Of course I'd rather they win the division. Of course I'd rather, in a perfect world, you'd be the number 1 seed, you have home field advantage all the way. But you know what? If they want to go ahead and pull a New York Giants,
85 Giants,
the 11 Giants,
the 11,
right?
but the 85 Giants lost to the 85 Bears, got shut out in the playoffs, came back the next year and ran the table. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But you, as a wild card
If they wanna
team,
be a wild
Eli
card team,
twice as a wild card, twice beating the Patriots, give it to me all day long.
Go right ahead. I couldn't give.
If I don't have a home game, I'm fine with it.
I couldn't give two
Just
craps.
win.
Just get into the playoffs. Now you got the playoff experience. And there were a lot of variables. I mean, I think of that Giants team in 11, Maz. That defensive line was beat up the entire season.
You bet.
And then something magical happened in Week 17. They all got healthy. And when they all got healthy, they started to wreak havoc on everybody, including making the greatest quarterback of all time confess, Tom Brady's life miserable in
Yes.
that Super Bowl,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So
Twice.
to me, Maz, that's I'm glad. Okay, check. We won the NFC North. Check. I don't care if they don't win it. Make the run next year. I don't care if it's a wild card. I don't care if it's a 2 seed. I don't care if it's a 7 seed. Just make the run. And
The crappy part is they made the run, Sean.
I know.
They just came up a quarter short.
I know.
That's what sucks. They won 2 games and were going to win the 3rd game. And then they would have been in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, a team that they beat earlier. And I know it's not the same team. And who knows? Maybe the Lions would have got their rear ends kicked. But I just want to make the Super Bowl. I want to say my team made the Super Bowl. Because in '86, I cried like a baby. I was 24 years
Phil
old. At the time.
McConkey.
Yep, 24-year-old babbling idiot.
Could
My
you
team
imagine,
made the
though,
Super Bowl.
All right, so let me throw this out there. Could you imagine if the Lions lost the Super Bowl like the Niners lost the Super Bowl? See, I would be an invalid.
Yeah.
That would do something that would break me inside.
Yeah.
Like I would literally, if something would snap in me, and that'd be it. I just live out my days in a happy home, looking at the birds flying.
You'd be like Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Seriously,
Nest.
I
Yep,
just
at the end of the movie.
people come visit me. Hi, Sean, how are
Yep.
you today? And I'd be staring into nowhere, just looking at the birds and everything. Like seriously, that would break me.
I would have had to come and snuff you out with a pillow.
I
I would have had to.
No, but seriously, don't think about that. If the Lions lost that game,
That way.
that way, okay? The Lions lost the game that way. Like something would have snapped in my nervous system would have just gone like this, and like something would have happened, and that would have been it. That'd be it.
He would have been a vegetable.
I asked we did the post game this year, and I asked Stick, Maz, and Anson. I said, would you guys have rather lost here in the NFC Championship game or lose in the Super Bowl? So I personally, I would have taken the loss in the NFC Championship game because I wouldn't want to see the Lions go to the Super Bowl and lose like what you're talking about, like the 49ers did.
Oh, man.
Not me.
I still want to make the game.
If
I
they
still
lost
wanna
like
make
that, if I'm a goo-goo baby over what happened against Frisco, I don't even want to think about I don't want to think about that. Like I don't like to go there. That's a very dark place. I don't like to go.
It's a dark place.
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to think about it because I'm not joking. Like I even think about it. And that Frisco game.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you about that.
No, we're not going to talk about it. No, I don't want you to ask me
Let
about it.
me ask you something.
Uh-oh,
we got
I
a
see
couple
the birds
minutes.
flying by.
Well, look, we got a couple
there they
minutes.
are. I'm
We're
going
up-
Jack Nicholson on you.
Lions are up 21-7, okay? Lions are up 21-7 with 20 seconds left in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4th down and 2. Did you want them to kick the field goal to go up to 17 points?
I did.
Okay, so you were happy. San Fran comes out, drives down the field. I'm like, please, just hold them to a field goal. We did. Good. Hold them to a field goal. It's 24-10. Lions drive right back down the field. 4th down. What did you want them to do?
I loved the call. It was
Me
there.
too.
It was execution.
Me too.
Blame it on execution.
Yep.
I
Me too.
think there was a lot of misguided anger thrown
Yes.
Dan Campbell's way. Now I know a lot of people like me would have rather that they didn't kick that field goal before half. In that case, I would have, because it's just before half, and to me it's psychological.
Of course.
Like seriously, you go for it and you don't make it.
San
Then
Fran
all of a
goes
sudden,
in. They get
San
the ball.
Fran's got a little something, right? I mean, I guess you could make the argument if
They're
they
still
don't
down
hit the
14.
field goal. Yeah, and you could make the argument they don't hit the field goal. But I'm sorry, the one that I had a problem with was at the end of the game. That was.
You mean the handoff?
Yeah, that was.
Okay, he knows he made a mistake there.
That was the one I had.
But
a
again,
problem with.
Jamison Williams missed the block there.
But
understood. That's football.
When execution is the problem, when Josh Reynolds, all he had to do was catch a ball. Like
Correct.
he's caught 9 million passes in
Yes.
his lifetime. I don't. And I bet you people have kind of cooled off since then and maybe have come to that side. I think you live by the sword, you die by the sword. What made Dan Campbell successful, you don't deviate from it. And he went for it. And Guys love him for it. His team loves him for it. That he has faith to put them in those positions and faith that they're going to execute in that moment. And unfortunately, they didn't execute. But I don't blame Dan Campbell for it at all. I don't.
Do you remember? I know you do. Redskins and Raiders, and it changed. This game changed. It ended basically at the end of the first half. You remember the play?
Yeah.
Its thigh's been rolling out.
Yeah.
It's going to hit Joe Washington.
Yeah.
In comes Jack Squirek.
Yeah.
Interception. Ball game over.
Down in Tampa,
Ball game
84.
over.
Yeah.
I thought of that play when the Lions were driving down in the first half, and I'm like, I don't know. There was a part of me that was like, don't kick the field goal. Let's go and knock them out.
Yeah.
Here. Let's go up 21 points.
Yeah.
Let's go up 21 points. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
If you have a good kicker that you could trust, maybe he would have kicked a couple of times.
Yeah.
Maybe he would have.
Yeah.
But they didn't trust Badgley, even though he hit a 54-yarder indoors.
All right,
indoors at Ford Field.
All right, we're also going to talk about the greatest pain you ever had in your life, and when your pet dies and everything, because this has been such an uplifting conversation the last 5 minutes.
Sorry, man.
I want to get Stick's bat and smash that cake down. I'm so pissed off reliving this.
Leave my cake alone.
I'll leave your cake alone.
Let's go over to Planet.
Let's talk Planet Fitness, man. It's home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals or work out their frustrations from the Detroit Lions ending of this past NFL season. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes. And all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Just visit your local Planet Fitness today or visit them online at planetfitness.com.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
The most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment,
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables. New designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com. Click that shop button.
Got to the zone, his foot ahead. Julian got it up Mahar. Mahar looking to center it. Did. Score! To Julian out in front! Goal number 2 in the game! And it's a go-ahead goal! 5-4!
Yes. You guys just heard Gary Thorne calling a high school hockey game. And inject that into my veins.
Isn't that great?
Listen, man. I'm an announcer's guy. You know that. Mm-hmm. There's nobody, and I love Dan Kelly growing up. Gary Thorne is, to me, the greatest hockey play-by-play guy ever. And Doc Emmerich, love him to death. This guy, I feel cheated that he is still not calling games on broadcast
He's
television.
Phenomenal. I was always impartial to Bob Cole.
Love Cole.
Detroit.
Love Cole. Detroit.
Bob
Goal.
Cole was
score.
But I mean, those guys that you mentioned, and you know what? It's cool to see a guy like Gary, who's a great guy, I might add.
He is.
Both Maz and I were talking during the break. Had a chance to meet him. It's so cool to see him do high school games. I've been very fortunate, as you know, Maz. I was fortunate to call some games in the NHL. I love the high school hockey. It's been so much fun to do that the last couple of years and help out a lot of friends and call games and cover it and everything. It's a great product, and that's a memory for those kids for a lifetime.
Hell yeah.
Gary,
are you kidding?
Gary Thorne called your game.
Are you kidding? Bill Clement, where was he? I need Bill Clement there. By the way, thanks to the Spit and Chicklets podcast for that sound.
Look at you, proper attribution as well.
Great stuff, man.
He's a pro.
Great stuff. Hey, you know what? Our Red Wings are growing up before our eyes.
Yeah.
Here. Finally. Took a while. But
it is
nice save on this Western road trip.
That's a great way to put it.
Save.
That's a great way to put it.
0-2, looking really bad, getting outclassed in those games, and then they come back and they win the last two. They beat the Kraken last night in overtime.
And you know what? Those are two good wins. I don't. The West Coast swing is always a tough swing, and I don't care if Calgary is struggling. I don't care if Seattle isn't what they were last year. I mean, to go out there and salvage those. Another big one tomorrow. I looked at this stretch to start February as being huge.
Yeah.
And when you can beat a team like Vancouver and then turn around and lose to Vancouver, and you finish this stretch with a game against Colorado tomorrow, I think it'll be a good test of where the Red Wings are. Look, there still isn't a guarantee that this team's going to make the playoffs, and I'm going to be one of those people, sorry, I just don't think it's that important this year. I really, truly don't. I think the reasons that people want them to make the playoffs are because, well, it's been since 2016. I just don't think it's important for this team. I really, truly don't.
So you don't think they could take it off the sheet and win it all?
No way.
If they get in?
No.
Why?
Their defense core. I'll start there. Like, honestly, you are relying on, and if you look at Steve, especially earlier in his tenure with Tampa, he picked up a guy that you don't want to call Alex Lyon a journeyman, but nobody was looking at Alex Lyon as being a true number one. You know what I mean? And his first team that had a flirt with success down in Tampa was with 502-year-old Dwayne Rollison.
Yeah.
And if you remember, Rolly the goalie kind of got hot, not to be confused with Roland Melançon.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they kicked it up a notch, it was with Ben Bishop. But Ben wasn't their guy. Their guy was laying in the waiting, of course. And I think everybody knows Vasilevsky was the guy that he kind of earmarked for being the number one guy.
And his equipment.
And his equipment. But no, Maz, I
12-4-2 since January 1st.
I listen.
Pretty good.
I think they're a playoff team, but I'm not going to deviate from it. I just don't think it matters yet. I just don't, because I'll go back to the day that Steve was hired, and we're not even 5 years removed from that, April 19th, 2019, where he said, listen, the goal isn't to get back in the playoffs. It's to get back to that level that you had a front row seat for.
Yep, I did.
Okay, where the Red Wings went from, in our lifetime, being a franchise that was mocked, the dead things, etc., to being the gold standard. From 95 to 09.
I miss Ron Duguay.
The Detroit. I just had an interview with him last week. It's funny you say
Doogie.
that. They were the gold standard. They were, make no mistake about it, the gold standard of the National Hockey League. And I think when Steve said that, it's saying to me, and I think it's saying to a lot of other people, yeah, of course you'd rather be in the playoffs. Of course. It's been a long time. 2016 is a long time ago. But he wants his team to compete like those teams did in that era, Maz, and I just don't think they're there yet. I
get it. But we just talked about the hockey playoffs. You love the opening round of the hockey playoffs.
It's the best.
Where an 8 can beat a 1.
It's the best.
And that would never happen in the NBA. I think it happened once.
I think
Denver did it.
When you look at teams that kind of made those runs in recent years, like let's look at Florida last year. Florida wasn't, for all intents and purposes, an 8 seed. As you mentioned, they
were the 1 seed.
They were
earlier.
unbelievable the year before. And they had a hell of a lot of sandpaper. They just ran out of gas against a deeper team. They ran out of gas against Vegas. Yeah, literally. Yeah. But they had a heck of a lot of sandpaper. When the Habs made that crazy run to the finals before they lost to Tampa, they had, all of a sudden...
That was the COVID year.
Yeah, the year after.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm going to use this joke for a second time. I think Carey Price fell out of bed one day, woke up and thought it was 2014 again. Like, honestly, all of a sudden,
he had his last good run.
Carey Price was, the best goalie in the world again until the finals when he ran into Vasilevsky. I don't think the Red Wings have that sandpaper yet.
Yeah.
I don't think they have that depth on the blue line yet. And as good as Alex Lyon has been, and I am very sincere when I say this, if Alex Lyon wasn't here, can you imagine where the Red Wings would be right now? I don't want to think about it, to be honest with you. They don't have those attributes.
Is he a Stanley Cup winning goaltender?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Do we have one?
He got cute. If you remember, he got cute last year. I think there could be a couple different guys in the system. I really like this guy, Trey Augustine.
Mm-hmm.
I think Trey Augustine is a guy that has a bright future ahead of him. You don't
Because
want
you know it wins you a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, you don't
that
want
wins you a Stanley Cup.
You don't want to discount Sebastian by any stretch of the imagination, but you're still talking. I think you're talking. A little while away before you get that guy.
Okay.
Can a guy look at Ben Bishop, for example.
Yeah.
Ben Bishop nearly got them to a Stanley Cup championship. He got them to the Stanley Cup. They just couldn't finish it. So, if the Red Wings, I think, fix the defense core, if the Red Wings fix the defense core, is this team capable of taking a huge step next year? Absolutely. Absolutely. But some of the things on the defense core haven't worked out as planned.
Are you happy with that guy they got? That veteran, that Hall of Famer that they picked up. A guy with the bad hip, the bad leg. Patrick Kane.
Love that deal.
Yeah.
Loved it.
What do you think of that?
You know what it is, Maz? And I had this argument with 10,000 people about it. What are you losing in this argument, or in this deal? What are you? You're not paying much. Worst case scenario. Okay, he comes out and he's a bum. He's done. What did you lose? I thought that people got themselves worked up. It was much ado about nothing, because you know what? You aren't losing anything. Worst case scenario for the team falters. Okay, but if Patrick Kane plays as well as he's played, you can turn around and turn that into something, and therefore you're getting something for nothing because you didn't take a chance on it. He showed everybody he's still got game. And he does. He still has game, no doubt about it.
Hey,
we got to get out of here, don't we?
Thanks for coming, man.
That flew by.
Had a great time.
I only came in because of you.
How was that 2 hours?
I don't know. You want to do it again sometime?
All the time.
Just call me. Hey,
bet.
Kool-Aid.
Hey.
Take your
Kool-Aid,
seat.
thank you, Pete. Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Maz. Thank you.
Thanks,
the boys
buddy.
are going to be back in tomorrow, right?
No.
Okay. I'll talk to you whenever I talk to you. I usually find out about 2 hours beforehand that they want me to come in.
I got you on the speed dial.
All right. Take care.
dial.
See you guys.